So you mentioned you were an analyst at one point.
A system support analyst at Loyola Marymount University. I worked there for a long time. I started as a third shift computer operator.
I had a good paying job in Arizona, so I came out here to see what jobs were out here, and with the economy, they're not hiring, and so it makes it harder.
I believe, and this is kind of negative, I believe that I was making so much money that they were trying to get me out of there and hire somebody with a degree that had graduated from the school.
I wound up back over here basically on a ticket for sleeping on the beach. It's all about real estate, and that's very important about the situations, and it has a lot to do with my homelessness right now.
They lie in inspections. When something is not up to code, they say it is, and then they come back in another inspection, they say the other inspector says it's not.
I was so addicted to this guy that, I'd rather be on the street with him. Eventually we were on the street running around, doing like hotels and stuff like that. And then on the street. So that's how that started. And also I started using heroin.
I've always been an alcoholic. Okay, I've never woke up with the shakes, but when I imbibe, I overdo it, and that is my downfall right there.
It was mainly because of the drugs and running around. There's also like a thrill to, an excitement of being around all these people. Because it was like 24/7 things going on. Like a lot of drama, but there's a lot of fun times, crazy times. As a teenager in early 20s, it was kind of like fun, rebellious thing, But as I got older, that all changed. It got harder and harder,
I realized I'm sitting here lying to these people, telling them that I'm an alcoholic, I'm a drug addict. I'm not, but I was. I purposely did it. Some of it was conditions, victims of circumstances. But I realized, that three things are going to happen because of this: meth addiction. We're all going to go to jail for life. We're going to be legally insane, or we're going to be filthy rich because something's not right here.
I have a chemical imbalance, and I was on Prozac for like a long time, but then the old folks consortium decided that they weren't going to pay for happy drugs. That's what they call it. This is how the street got to me, happy drugs. But anyway, so they stopped that, and I started drinking again.
And each person is homeless because they have a different problem. But I don't have a drug problem. This happened just because the system, the government.
My other proclivity is I'm a reader, and I had all my reading in here, and everything got stolen.
Oh.
And what they do, they dump it out and then take the card on.
Yeah.
And then when people come by and they see stuff that looks like it will work, they sad.
Do you feel like your freedom is abridged as a citizen? Like your freedom is restricted?
The cops like messing with us. Like if you try to go to sleep in a certain area, they'll tell you to go. They'll give you a ticket for anything. You can be sleeping on the sidewalk, smoking a cigarette. Well, I've gotten arrested 3 times just for sleeping tickets because I can't pay them off. And they turn them into warrants. And I called up my dad in Arizona and go, guess what? I'm being arrested for having sleeping tickets.
Well, what did they expect? Did they expect people to be able to pay it? Obviously, they wouldn't be on the streets if they could pay it.
They expect people that they should be able to pay it, but we can't.
This right here, I was in the hospital. Somebody bammed me upside my head, and I had a concussion. And they took my wallet. And this is when my wallet was stolen, and they hit me in the head. And it's never like straight up Duke City. It's like always something like not cool. So, but I was hanging around and I was hanging in a bad area, that's what I get. I write it down, I work past it.
Sure.
I try not to hover.
I'm you, you're nobody, I'm going to take your identity. So identity theft could be a problem with access to services. That's a big problem.
I've heard that my checks are going to some church, but I don't remember where it is or who they are. But I have no ID. And even though the bank has been dealing with me for several years, without ID, they won't give you any funds. It's sad. I mean, but that's how it is.
Got the Section 8 voucher, then it's being pulled along, where they found me an apartment, and it's been like 3 months where they're saying, oh, well, you'll get your apartment the next month. Oh, you'll get your apartment the next month. And it's been nothing but that out here.
We have to pay more attention on these agencies that the government fund to help the community.
I totally agree.
They can be more responsible and more accurate in helping the community, helping the people in the community.
I was clean from age 18 to age 29. When I got back out here, I started using meth again. Before I got pregnant, I quit, and I've been clean and sober for 5 months now.
I did an open adoption with my first one. I was raped by her father when I was 17. And my other kids, DCFS took those, so I don't have any contact with them, just my last two, Daisy and Reggie.
They don't want to make contact with me because they got a problem. They got a problem with the babysitter. I got a problem with my daughter, blah, blah, blah. And I mean, I was still a good father. I love you. I want you to be happy. And, then there's other presumed daughter situations where I know if I am or if I'm not. It's just all too late on all of them. So it's not about being a father anymore. It's about starting over.
What do you think is the most important thing in life? What do you value the most?
Myself and my self goals.
Okay.
What I value most in life, I think, is money. I think money, and then love, and then,
What I value the most are friends that are true friends. And the reason I say this is because I had friends before that were like stupendous, but then you find out that they're not always on point. They're not really your true friends, and that's when you find out the ones that are, and you value them. I really did. I really, to this day, I have about 3 fellows and a couple of young ladies who will always be my friends. Even though I'm like this, I don't want to shame them by trying to be around them while I'm like this, but I can truly say that if I when I knocked on their door, they would open it up. So.
Well, I value life because life is beautiful. Life is enjoyable. The sun, the air, and the human beings in society are very valuable, very constructive, very nice.
I refuse to let the bad part of the system beat me. Yeah. I still see the brighter side. There's a lot of fellas out there that are down and out who are not stupid, but they find themselves in a situation and they can't get out.
If you could tell us where you see yourself in a year, what are your hopes and what's your goal?
Owning a house, raising my family, and hopefully married to this dude.
Okay.
A year from now, I should be enrolled in law school, and I should be working as a culinary artist on the East Coast, in an East Coast Irish pub somewhere.
I have an appointment with my caseworker, and she's gonna try to find me a Section 8 housing for me, so I don't have to have any more problems in terms of sleeping in the street.
My plan is to get into treatment program to stay there for 6 months to a year and get myself strong enough. I'd love to start a pet grooming business. I have a love for these animals, and I don't want to see them abused, so I want to save them and help them and make them pretty and make them feel better and give them good homes, you know. And that's my goal.
I've been through it, and I'm not done. I'm not done. I'm going to be some sort of social activist. I have this thing about other people's woes. If I can make it through just for another day, anybody can. I don't have no S on my chest. You know, so Superman.
Each person has expertise on something. They have experience in doing something properly. Even whether they're homeless or not, they have something they can share with you and they can help you with.
Just because you have a fucked up past doesn't mean that has to dictate your future. You know, and I mean, it doesn't mean you have to have a fucked up future. It's all free will. It's all the choices that we make. It's nobody else's fault. If we don't get to have the life we want, it's all the battle within ourselves. So if we are created in God's image, we can create our own universe with that power.